I just spent my entire weekend editing this stupid video, and now you're going to tell me that nobody can even watch it?
This is only the beginning of my true resurrection.
Arriving on a nightmare, praying for a dream.
True resurrection.
If you want to watch the whole video on Twister and its use of personification, you can go ahead and go to my BitChute account. It'll be linked below. That is what it's for. Also, I've added 2 more pages to my website. One is for self-published and indie works recommended on Amazon, as well as sites like Wattpad and Inkit. This one is still kind of a work in progress. The second page is something I'm working on, but might be a few years before I get fully going. It's called Knights of the Writing Table, for writers of the Unwanted book club to kind of collab on a single universe and get books going under one pseudonym. For now, it's just recommended books published by yours truly and other members once knighted. I guess it's no surprise that cancel culture and censorship are hot topics for me. And while I plan on making videos concerning said drama like that of book outlet, diversity, sexism, fake readers, you have too many ideas, just get to the point. What better way to start off the next round of videos than a video about cyberbully? I'm sure I won't get blocked this time because you can literally watch the entire movie for free on YouTube on like 3 different channels. The movie Cyberbully, not to be confused with Maisie Williams' Cyberbully, which was interesting. But not terrible. Kind of like if you mashed Unfriended with Cyberbully and got Trust's demented cousin. The idea for this video came to me after I read Backlash by Sarah Littman, which was a really good book. I know Cyberbully gets a lot of backlash for being a melodrama full of teen angst, but I've always had a soft spot for it. Kind of like Perfect Sisters. The concept is entirely fucked up, but done so well it makes you question that gray area. And I don't think there has ever been more emphasis for empathy than in today's age. While I sympathize with the plight of any human being who might feel they are compelled or forced to make mortifying decisions such as these for the sake of life, sanity, or ill effects of experienced trauma already having a psychological impact on the person, this too is something we can discuss. Should we forego moral justice for the sake of feelings? What makes us feel we have to take matters like these in our own hands? Both Cyberbully and Backlash were inspired, come to find out, by the true account of a teen girl who committed suicide due to cyberbullying. Megan Myers was having problems, pretty much a similar premise to Cyberbully. She had a crush on a kid who didn't exist. Did I say spoilers? Oh no. Spoilers! The true story is actually worse than the book, which I thought was worse than the movie, and by worse I mean horrifying. A group of parents literally created a fake profile account to troll Megan Myers because she had a falling out with one of her best friends. Eventually, they got a whole group of parents involved, just gathering together to catfish, troll, and torment this girl until she committed suicide. There was a police investigation. I don't think any legal action could really be taken because cyber laws on the internet was just starting out. It's a really shitty story. I just thought Backlash and Cyberbully had a similar premise. I had no idea they were both inspired by this true story. Perfect Sisters was also based on a true story, and while Sisterhood of the Night was based on a short story written by Stephen Millhauser, I don't think it's necessarily a true story, though most of the elements within it surround the idea of catfishing, cliques, suicide, trauma, and bullying. I couldn't find anything to suggest this movie was taken from one exact event rather than a collection of inspired stories surrounding the history of clique mentality and teen angst. All of these movies, including the Maisie Williams Cyberbully, surround the idea of backlash. Not the book, the actual backlash. The repercussions that follow a string of events leading to one point that results in the mortifying decision or debate over whether or not to take one's life. There are usually multiple factors that lead up to this inner conflict, from emotional and verbal abuse to physical to neglect. Some stories are more involved than others, and some are more romanticized than others. I think Cyberbully did it best. I know it gets a lot of flack, but I think they did a good job getting the message across without feeling the need to kill off their main character and romanticize the action taken for the sake of drawing sympathy from an audience. Cyberbully doesn't just show us the repercussions for the bullying, but the after effects as well. They show the frustration felt by parents who are otherwise powerless in a world where cold shoulders and entitled persons do not only realize the repercussions for their words or actions, but they simply do not care. They show the struggle of emotional tension and conflict that might follow for fear that their child might attempt the same action again, all mixed with feelings of anxiety and dread. While other movies might show us a funeral scene, a few tearful expressions, maybe forlorn friends trying to make the most of it, we are never really shown how big the consequences are for such dreadful actions, most of which coming from a place that no one was prepared for or even felt they had to be considered. Most parents or friends of people with these mental battles don't suspect anything, as the person in question might be either reclusive by nature or simply pretend everything is fine in hopes that everything will eventually feel fine even when the battle is far from over. So in real life, most cases of suicide are those that we didn't see coming, and we're left to carry our own guilt, shame, and pain for never having even noticed this person might need help. Today, we're going to talk about the Backlash. Not the book! Backlash, Cyberbully, and Sisterhood of the Night all start out with one main character being targeted by another due to false rumors. We're going to exclude Perfect Sisters from this since she technically set herself up by her own rumors and wanted to create a reputation in school, and it's a little different than someone else creating it for you without your permission. What follows is the main character's downfall through an increasing number of lies, suspicions, and condemnations. Isolation follows, and while Sisterhood of the Night explored the realm of relishing the quiet reclusiveness away from peers, Cyberbully and Backlash characters both fall into a state of anxiety, depression, and eventually suicide, being driven to insanity. Teens that might come from a poor home or feel isolated enough already can have a hard time confiding in counselors, parents, or even their own friends due to rumors and repercussions that might follow. Some kids that get bullied can carry the price with them, their new reputations affecting those of their friends simply by association. So being driven out as an outcast and having nowhere to go can have detrimental results in the end. The thing that interests me about these movies is that they all might have similar scenarios, but the characters all react differently, and it's in the different course of actions that bring about different outcomes. In Sisterhood of the Night, one character likened to that of the MC and Cyberbully makes the same decision, having felt the same neglected way by her father, bullied by her peers, rumored and even videotaped online, and ends up seeking out a similar end. Perfect Sisters is obviously a different scenario given their abuse, and their story isn't so much rumor-centric as it is action-centric, but they chose to take action against those who had acted against them or might in the future. Please, for the love of God, do not follow their example. I mean, I get the theme of this movie revolves around the controversy of self-defense, but this was a little excessive. The main character in Sisterhood of the Night finds her own group of outcasts and starts a refreshing, healing experience that is kept secret for the sake of those who need to open up about traumatic events in order to heal. Or you could take the 13 Reasons Why route and make your character shell themselves up for the dumbest reasons. Yeah, you heard me right. Then she kills herself in a vengeful suicide, taking the time to record her rebuke on cassette to leave behind for others to feel guilty and ashamed and possibly traumatized. I really hate this book. Before I Fall might be used as another example where the victim in question seems to be withdrawn, struggling to find purpose in her own life. She takes out her anger on her peers and eventually gives up and takes her own life. I'm going to try not to get too philosophical when it comes to the real thing because I'm better when it comes to characters, and if it's anything that I know, it's that character development should be a little more challenging than X and Y happened, so Z is the result. There are so many different angles to talk about when it comes to serious topics like this. In most cases that I've seen or heard, this is something that doesn't just come to a person, it's something that develops gradually over a course of weeks, months, or years of either neglect, abuse, trauma, or depression. And I get that most of these writers want to appeal to the audience and send the message that this is wrong. Can we maybe get some books and movies in here that offer a helpful or hopeful solution to these issues rather than romanticize them to death? I'm not going to get too in-depth about this topic, mostly because there's too much to unwrap and discuss, and a lot of it I'm saving for when I watch and reread 13 Reasons Why and Before I Fall. But here's something I think we do need to kind of talk about. Any action we take still has repercussions, and while those who are tragically in so much pain emotionally might feel they fare better when set to rest, it's something that needs to be caught early, not exploited for fake deep points to make your character and easy complexity rolled into a package. One thing that does bother me is how nobody wants to talk about the people left behind, whether parents or even children. The questions and trauma they will have to live with that nobody can answer, that could take years to heal if ever. We absolutely don't need to be pointing fingers or blaming, but I think the idea of suicide, depression, and bullying needs to start taking a different course. It's one thing to listen to a song or read a book or watch a movie that can help us relate to a condition. It's another to alter media enough that anyone who has ever considered such an action feels there really is no way out and that no one will care if they go, because that's not the truth. With all the chaos going on in the world today with social media and cancel culture, it can become easy to feel we have no place or purpose in this world. Depression, as I've come to learn, is a fight. It's something that some people have to live with every single day. Pain and emotional torment is something some people have to live with every single day. And I find it appalling the lack of messaging in entertainment and media that offer the sole comfort that is this simple truth. Nothing lasts forever. High school does not last forever. Childhood does not last forever. Emotional scars, no matter how deep, will heal given enough time and the right amount of nurturing. There is light at the end of the tunnel and there is hope. But I will leave you writers with this. If our writing is solely focused on the hopelessness of a situation, we will never find the right course of action to help the cause.